Hi, alrighty. So today I'm here with my lovely mom, and we're gonna do a Q&A. So I reached out on social media via Twitter to see what questions you would have for my mom and I, and so far they've been very lovely. So we're really excited to answer those for you. So Allison has a couple questions for us. She's asking, have you ever had to defend Sky because someone was not accepting of him being transgender?
No.
All right. And her second question was, do you worry about Sky more because he is transgender?
No.
Okay. But on top of that, I just wanted to ask my mom if she has ever been worried about how public I've been with my transition.
I do have concerns about that, and I think it's the concerns people would have for any public figure. Although there's a lot of progress in transgender acceptance and understanding throughout the world, I realize that it's not universal, and because Sky is so public about that, I fear that people far removed from his actual day-to-day life may take an interest in an unhealthy way in him. And that worries me, just as it would for any situation where a child of yours is out there and publicly. Not everybody likes everybody. Not everybody agrees with everything. But it doesn't keep me up at night.
Okay, good. Kiki Lou also had a similar question to this one that Allison asked, but she also wanted us to give a shout out to her boyfriend Kevin. So, hi Kevin! All right. So Allison's question though was, what was the most difficult part of Skylar's transition for both of you? And we both agreed on this one that it was sort of the timeline for hormones and surgery, because I wanted things at a certain time. I felt that need, but having my mom understand that need.
And I felt very strongly, because of Sky's age, that I didn't want anything that was physically changing him that was irreversible, that he did not understand was his decision to make. I was not going to make those decisions for him. So I was trying to push up anything physically that you could not go back from, such as top surgery, hysterectomy, until he was 18, legally an adult, to make sure that he understood he was making those decisions for him. That it's a little strange now because everything's great, but when you're back there and you don't know how things are going to turn out, I just wanted some time. I wanted him to, get used to the testosterone, to see that that was the right thing. It was a tough time for us. We were not doing things on the same schedule.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, top surgery right now, please.
Yes.
But you did allow me to start testosterone before I was legally an adult. So that was something that you felt was...
You really want this, let's see
how
if
it
this is what you want, and if it does what you need it to do. Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wind Mage Master. It doesn't sound right unless I say all right.
All right, so I'll say it for you. Are you ready?
Wait.
You ready? All right, so...
Wind Mage Master would like to know, what period of your life did you feel closest to your mom, if not now, and what period did you feel most distant?
Well, we agree, I think, that we feel very close now, and that as we continue to go on, we feel closer. We share a lot, and I'd say it just gets better.
Yep, I would say so too. I just feel like our relationship has just gotten better and better every time we talk, so it's awesome. Every time we see each other, which is great too. So, and then for feeling most distant, I agreed with her in that it was right before I came out that I felt the most distant from her, because I wasn't really communicating how I felt with anyone, because I didn't know how to. So did you perceive that too?
We had a lot going on in our lives. There are a lot of things that go on in families, and there was a lot going on. And I think I felt a distance, and I don't know whether it was those things that were going on, whether it was just normal teenage things going on. But as soon as Sky came out and we started working on understanding and working together for his transition, I felt all of that dissipate. So I can say that I think that was it.
Yeah.
That was what was going on. There was a lack of
Definitely.
honesty, because he wasn't saying what he was really feeling. He perhaps didn't feel he could with other things going on. And I was sensing he was keeping something, but it wasn't something we could get to till he took that step.
Right, exactly. So Jenny is asking, was it easy for Mama Sky once Sky started T? How did Mama Sky take it when Sky had to have a hysterectomy?
Starting T was a big thing. It was really important to Sky. My concerns about it were I anticipated mood changes. My big worry about starting T was that it would not have the effect that he was looking for. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was so keen on it. This is the right thing. This is what I need. That I was worried that it wouldn't give him that.
Like that my expectations.
Your expectations were high. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't going to make you feel the way you thought.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't going to have the physical changes you wanted. So I was worried that it wouldn't be the answer that he was looking for. It turned out it was. And
right.
Actually, it became such that after a couple of months, I could see that it was the right thing. Mm-hmm. And probably 6 months into it, I was so convinced that it was the right thing for him, that the transition was what he needed and everything like that, that I became much more comfortable discussing and considering the surgical options that he wanted to follow that on with. The hysterectomy was something that we had not discussed. We had not gone through doing that. It did not seem something that was an immediate need for you as part of your transition. Right. It wasn't a requirement to do that. Unfortunately, the reaction to the testosterone in his body gave physical problems that were extremely distressing to Sky and extremely distressing to me that he was going through that. So to have to get that done and to do that, it was necessary for not only his physical health, his mental health, so many reasons. But the fact that we had to rush through that and have such agony over doing something bothered me. But I recognized the need for it, and getting that scheduled and getting that done was so important, and I'm so glad we got it done.
And after I felt so much better, and my mom was there to support me with my best friend. So overall, like, I was disappointing that it had to go down that way, but we powered through it. We definitely did.
Yeah.
Heather would like to know, how did you react when Sky came out to you, and what's it like to have such a fab son?
When Sky came out, I don't know that I was shocked, but I also know I didn't know a lot about it. And I think my reaction was, okay, so what do we do to get started on this? What do we need to do? You're having these feelings. We got into a therapist. I did a lot of reading. I think my reaction was, okay, so what do we do? Because I knew nothing about it. So
let's get started.
As far as having a fab son, I have 2 fabulous sons, so I assume you're asking about Sky. All right? And I have the mother's pride of course, I think everything my sons do is great. But I have to say that I have this feeling sometimes, and I've had it, I told Sky about this, that he performs, I see him on stage sometimes, I've seen him, some of his YouTube things, some of the things that I see him from afar. It's not just him with me. I actually look at this person and say, that's a wonderful person. And then I go, he's my son. And I actually cry a lot. Like he sometimes asks me, are you crying as I'm playing this song? I'm like, I'm sitting here listening to like a really nice song or looking at a piece of artwork or something and just being very moved by it just in general. And then it hits me that he's my son. So sometimes when I say things that are wonderful about Sky, it's because he really is that. It's not just because I gave birth to him. Okay?
Alexander's asking, what would you say to parents who are finding it hard to accept their trans kids?
First and foremost, in any relationship about any issue, I think it's communication. I think it's communication. Parents listen, kids listen, express what you're feeling. The other thing is that I think it's really important for parents, if they need some help with that, if they want to talk to somebody, there are lots of organizations that do that. PFLAG's one that I've participated in. I think it's really important that they go and get some support from people if they are comfortable with that. But number one, communication, keep lines of communication open to each other.
Yeah, on both sides. On the kid side too, is to be open about that. If your parents are having a hard time accepting it, to acknowledge instead of maybe ignoring that and just being like, oh, they're not accepting it, I'll ignore it. To acknowledge that and be like, hey mom, I can tell that you are having a really hard time with this. And I just want to say I perceive that, I acknowledge that. If there's any way that I can communicate in a way to help you understand, that's definitely beneficial. Anya would like to know, did you always know Skylar was, at heart, a male?
I don't think I would have thought, oh, he's possibly male. When he was born, I had a son, I had a daughter, but I believe our household was pretty gender neutral and did things together. You know, the kids played together, whether it was stuffed animals and softer things, or it was like, you know, let's go out and beat each other up with bats. It was pretty gender neutral. I don't think I felt strong female-male differences in how we were raising the kids and doing that. So I would say it doesn't surprise me, right? The transition, although I'm surprised because I didn't know anything about it before Scott transitioned.
It's like magic.
But it's not like it was a shock, and it's not like I always thought, oh, that's not really a girl there. It wasn't in my comprehension or thought process until we started talking about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for watching our Q&A. We hope you enjoyed it, and I love visiting my mom. It was hard to get her in front of the camera.
I don't like this part. It's not my
like this
nature,
part,
but I like answering the questions.
Yeah, so she really loved interacting with you. I loved interacting with you all, so thank you so much for that, and I hope you have a great afternoon.
Yeah.
Peace out from
Peace out.
us.